You're listening to Working in Oncology, a podcast and video show that spotlights oncology practice staff and industry influencers who work behind the scenes to shape the future of oncology. The more knowledge the oncology community shares with each other, the more we all grow. Let's get into the show.
Welcome to Working on Oncology. I'm Mike Barca. I'm your host for tonight. With me is Lisa Carey from Broome Oncology in Binghamton, New York. Welcome, Lisa, to the show.
Thank you.
All right. So I got to ask you, what was your first concert?
Oh boy, Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper. No kidding.
Yeah, welcome to my neighborhood.
Nice. Where was it? Here?
Mm-hmm. Broome County.
Broome County.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Back in the day.
Back in the day. Yep. So, Lisa, you have a very unique story in that you are not only a cancer survivor yourself, but you work in oncology.
I do.
What do you do? How long have you been working in oncology yourself?
I've been working at Broome Oncology for 10 years. Started out as a phlebotomist, and now for the last 7 years, I've been doing all the authorizations for Broome Oncology as far as medical procedures, PET scans, CT scans, biopsies, and I do all of the oral medications.
So jack of all trades, right?
Yeah, big job. Big job.
Yep. Tell us about your journey, what you went through from cancer.
I was diagnosed with bladder cancer in February 2019, and I had to go through 4 rounds of chemotherapy, those stints, and back, and then I had to have 11-hour surgery to remove my bladder and several other parts of me in order to survive that, and I did.
Here,
I am here.
Fight.
You did.
Right.
I did. It was quite the journey.
Yeah. You're working with the patients on a daily basis. How do you bring what you went through into the office on a daily basis? What's most gratifying about what you do every day?
Very passionate. I think I was always passionate about my job, but after battling cancer and really being on that side of the fence, I get it. I totally get what the need for the medications, the need for the procedures, and I became more of a warrior for them and for myself because they needed somebody to advocate for them, just like I needed somebody to advocate for me when I was going through it. It's not an easy job. No.
You're going into work every day, you're seeing these patients. How did that affect you when you had to go back?
When I went back to work, it was very hard. It was like a little bit of PTSD because little triggers would set me off, remind me of how sick I was. But I worked through that. Took a few months and a little bit of counseling, but I got through it and learned that I needed to grasp it more than I needed to run from it, and it became a lot closer with the patients because I was able to say, hey, wait a minute, I've been there, I know what you're going through, and I'm here to help you.
I mean, for somebody walking into that practice being diagnosed with cancer, getting to work with you, knowing that you went through it, I mean, it has to be so comforting for them.
Yeah.
But also for you.
Yeah. Yeah, because we could share stories that nobody gets, not even your family. Family's very big. My work family was amazing, but patients and a cancer patient together, you really click and you get it. And yeah,
so you had to go sit in that chemo chair, that same chair that the patients are going in. You were actually treated in the same practice.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It took me a while to walk back to the treatment area. Luckily, I have my own little cubicle, and I didn't have to go back in the treatment area, and I couldn't for a while. But now I can, and I can go sit with patients, and a lot of them, like I said, they've become my family, my friends, and I can actually go back when they're getting their treatment. And I sit and I visit with them, and it's comforting now. just the whole one-on-one.
Right. I'm just thinking from, an administration standpoint at Broome Oncology, having Lisa Carey on your team, just is you have to be such an asset to the practice. To be able to deliver the message that you went through and help these folks and their families through their journey through cancer. Just has to be so fulfilling.
It is. It's very fulfilling, especially when you can get them their very expensive medications, and you have a great team that helps you do that. And everybody in the office is very, very tight.
Is that the biggest challenge? What's the biggest challenge for you
Oh God,
on a daily basis?
Insurance
What are
companies.
you fighting head on?
Oh, the insurance companies, definitely. Yeah, they don't want to pay for anything. They don't want to approve anything. So I think the battle always starts there. And patients don't understand that. They know what they need and they want it, but they don't understand you have to get it approved first by the insurance company, and that is where the battle begins. And that's where I come in and have to advocate and do whatever we have to do.
Pull out stops to be able to get them the medicine, get them the treatments that they need.
Funding is big. You have to get funding for them and go to your resources, but it all works out.
Yeah, it does. So every day you're going in and dealing with patients, dealing with their families. How do you disconnect when you go home? What motivates you?
I like to stay active, so I love the gym. I love to do Zumba. I'm a Zumba instructor. I do that twice a week. I love CrossFit. I'm not quite 100% back to the person I was a year ago, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
And I've got challenges. And I'm gonna get
Great.
ready.
You're here. You're healthy.
I'm alive.
Living, breathing, and
Yeah.
enjoying life. And you have a new grandbaby.
I do.
Right?
I do. He was born in September, and that was right after my surgery. I was very weak and tired, but that was a big motivation.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to work every day, you have a bad day, whatever you go through during the day where it's just, not having the best of days, you go home and you see him, and it probably puts a big smile on your face, right?
Yeah, and it keeps you going.
Yeah.
Those little bodies keep going, and it just keeps your heart going every day.
Yeah. So what else do you do? So you do Zumba.
Mm-hmm.
I know you like cars.
Yes.
What do you have for a car?
I have a lot of cars. I have a Challenger 2016. I have a Spitfire 1975. And then I have my regular everyday car. And I just winterized my other cars, so I'm going to miss them for the next few months.
Winterized. Don't say that word, winter. We're not looking
And
forward
here we
to it.
go.
Upstate
New York.
Just, the snow flies super early here. So
Someday.
it's, I don't know, last year was it we had snow on Halloween? So
It's coming.
it'll be here before we know it.
I don't want it.
Take me back to like when the pandemic hit and you were working and how that affected your job and what you do on a daily basis. How did you manage through that?
That was a very scary time. It was scary for everybody, I think, and the world. Oncology patients, especially because they're so immune compromised. I myself was only back to work for 2 months and scared the death out of me. Luckily, I was able to work from home, which was challenging all in itself because I live really out in the country, so cell phone service and all that's kind of bad. Missed my fax machine, but it was scary. But our office did everything they can to screen for it, and we haven't had any cases in our office. It is.
So yeah, I mean, you yourself, having fought cancer, of course, you maybe immunocompromised. So that had to be scary.
It was very scary. I didn't want to. Yeah, definitely. I was. I didn't want to fight another fight, especially COVID. The outcome when this first came out was very scary to everybody. whether you were healthy or not healthy. Luckily, I didn't have to find out. Yeah.
You certainly are worried. Thank you for what you've been through, what you're dealing with on a daily basis, working with the patients, the families, working on yourself, keeping yourself healthy, your family healthy, your grandbaby. Everything you do has just been amazing. It's remarkable.
Thank you.
What you've been through and what you've accomplished.
I love life and I love my job.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We have to, right?
Yeah.
So, thank you for your time, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Had fun doing this. Hopefully, we can do this again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Working in Oncology. To ensure that you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast player. If you're listening in Apple Podcasts, we'd love for you to leave a quick rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the podcast deserves. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.